Hey everybody, today we're talking about rivets. Rivets, as well as some of our pattern matching artisanal wall coverings. Now, they look exceptional, they create an amazing overall pattern, but there's a little trick to them because even though you might think that the pattern matches perfectly throughout, it actually never matches perfectly throughout the whole room. Isn't that right, Dennis?
True. No wall covering matches 100%.
So the question is, how do some of these installations look so amazing and look so perfect, but they don't have an exact match? Well, today we're going to share with you some of the secrets to help give you that perfect look, even though it doesn't perfectly match. So Dennis, when we look at the room, we start out, what's the most important match in the entire room?
It's what you see when you first enter the room, and it's ordinarily at eye level.
So at eye level is where the installer really wants to concentrate and make sure that, hey, if I can't get a perfect match in every wall, in every part of the house, I need to get it perfect in that one spot when we're beginning the installation. So that's one. How about two? How about if I have unusual architecture? You know, sometimes we have these fabulous Victorian houses with different size ceilings or interesting corners. Additionally, sometimes when we have new construction, the architecture moves or settles, the walls settle. What are some tips or tricks when I'm using rivets or other patterns when it comes to installing it?
Well, no home is straight. They call that character, right?
Mm-hmm.
The house is a little crooked. Unfortunately, we have to deal with that, particularly with a geometric pattern like rivet. So once I determine where I want to put it at eye level, the next place I look is up at the ceiling line, because your eye goes from where it is at eye level, and then the next thing you look at is the top. And you'll follow a pattern. If it's a bird, if it's rivets in a row, whatever that is, your eye's going to follow that. So
if that's the case, when you're matching it up on the ceiling, is there any tips in terms of do you match the rivet exactly up to the ceiling, or do we give a little space? What do you recommend?
well, in a perfect world, it would be great to put the line right at the ceiling, right? Well, we know it isn't a perfect world. So again, you want to leave yourself flexibility. So I start at least one row up or two rows up from where that horizontal double line goes.
So what I hear you saying is give yourself 2 to 3 inches from the top of the last line so you can trim and it'll fool the eye if there's any other issues on that. Those are great tips. You have any other last points that we should talk about with the rivets?
Well, the one thing, again, being hand laid, you're not going to be able to cut straight down a row of rivets, be a ceiling line, a seam in particular. You need to stay off the rivet and leave a little bit of that ground showing so you could get a nice straight line. And again, it's a matter of give and take, a little more, a little bit less, to create the best possible look. And that width can vary 1/8 of an inch, and you're not gonna know that.
So great points. Break it down. 3 points. 1, start at eye level. 2, give yourself a couple extra inches from the top, from the ceiling, to play around with. 3, don't cut through the rivet. And 4, one tip he didn't even tell you that he tells me on the side is sometimes this is a little bit more art than science, and you might actually have to trim the edge just a little bit for those unusual spaces. So hopefully those great tips for rivets, our other artisanal product, and some great pattern wall covering will make your installs even better. We'll see you next time.